Round 4. Gateway to the Mercantour Park. The resort of Isola 2000 offers an incredible backdrop with more than 120 kilometers of skiing slopes. And despite the poor snowfalls and the unseasonably warm temperatures, the show will go on thanks to the incredible job done by the course stewards. And it's an all-new course, far more technical than before, and it will challenge the drivers all week long.
Salut, c'est Jean-Philippe Desrault. Bienvenue dans ma
And here we
Kia
are now
Rio.
with Jean-Philippe Desrault. Hello and welcome inside my Kia Rio, and Happy New Year to everyone. This is the new racetrack at Isola 2000, 650 meters long, packed full of turns, as you're about to find out. Here we are in the Snail, as it's known, a big right-hander, which gets really tight. We keep it almost full throttle.
Le premier virage droite-gauche du circuit, et le deuxième.
Then turn 2, where we really start sliding early on. At the end, it's hard on the brakes, and then a banked right-hander.
La voiture prend beaucoup de latéral parce qu'on le voit pas trop, mais là il y a beaucoup de dévers. Voilà, et puis 2, 3, 4,
Second, third, fourth and fifth. Finally we have the big right-hander. Very narrow, very quick, and that makes or breaks a good time. And then here we are for the finish line. Thank you very much. Well, no surprises in the standings. Alain Prost leads the competition from his teammate Bertrand Ballas, the #1 Toyota Auris driver, confident but not resting on his laurels.
Alors, Alain, en tête du championnat, les
well, Alain, you are leading the championship. Is your aim now to stay consistent or to keep attacking to increase your lead?
Pour l'instant, c'était un peu les deux.
Well, for the moment, it's a bit of both. We have to be consistent in these first few races back. We have to be careful of the rules in which a driver can dispose of his two worst results for the overall standings. We have a better idea now, after 2 or more rounds. To win the Trophee Andros, you have to be consistently in the top 2 or 3 at worst. Things are going well for now, but it's certainly not over yet.
Qu'encore dans 2 week-ends, vraiment que pour les 2 derniers, donc il faut être très vigilant. On sait à peu près la
moyenne qu'il faut. We have to keep really an eye on everything that's going on around us for the moment.
C'est-à-dire qu'il faut faire régulièrement premier, deuxième et une fois de temps en temps troisième. Et donc là, pour l'instant, on est très content, très satisfait. Mais
things are going very well for our team at the moment.
Pour Jean-Philippe Desrault, maintenant ça va être un peu plus l'attaque, je pense.
I think now we will attack. Well, Alain Prost's main rival is still Jean-Philippe Desrault, and the Kia driver is within striking distance. He'll have to give up everything to gain maximum number of points here. He's starting with a weight handicap.
Well,
the goal with 60-kilogram handicap is to finish in the top 3, but also get rid of the weight for Saturday's race. We'll stay focused, try not to make many mistakes, stay as quick as we can.
Alors justement, ces questions de l'Est.
Well, does driving with so much weight really change things that much? Well, yes, we certainly notice the difference here, especially because there are so many turns. What's more, I'm already a lot heavier than my rival Alain, so the difference is actually more like 90 kilos. But that's the way it is. I'm not about to cut off a leg to be able to compete with him. We'll just try to be at least in the top 3. As for the outsiders, Wilfried Merafina is still in the picture, even if his early season has been more than difficult.
Nous, on n'a rien à gérer. On a aujourd'hui 2 courses.
Well, we have now got no option. We've used up our 9 lives, and we have to attack.
Donc, il faut à tout prix maintenant relever la tête. Donc, nous, on a.
Now we really need to lift ourselves up. We need points in the finals. We have to get everything to get some big points. There's still a long way to go and a lot can still happen.
Va me permettre d'analyser peut-être avant de doubler, mais je pense que de toute façon, il faudra jeter dans tous les bons coups pour essayer de gagner 1 point, 2 points, 3 points.
Prost, Desrault, and the others could still break down.
Prost, Desrault et tous les autres peuvent être aussi.
And we have to be ready to take advantage of that.
C'est à nous de saisir l'occasion maintenant et d'être toujours devant.
Laurent Fouquet is not finished yet either, as he discusses his season so far and what he expects this weekend.
Pour le team, c'est un petit peu difficile. On a essayé de
Well, for the team, it's been very tough. We've tried to rehaul the whole car to make it as efficient as possible and also as quick as possible.
pour que la voiture soit performante. On n'a pas encore
We're not
franchi
yet
le cap
halfway
de la
through the
mi-saison,
season,
mais on arrive déjà sur
and
un
we've
circuit qui
already
semble
arrived at a
compliqué.
brand new track,
Compliqué,
which looks
mais
pretty
nouveau pour tout
tricky.
le monde, donc,
But it's going to be the same for
on a fait
everyone.
simplement deux
We'll
séances
try to
d'essai
be
pour
on the
l'instant.
money
On va rentrer
and on the
maintenant dans le vif
pace
du sujet,
right
on
from
va
the
essayer
start.
d'être dans le coup.
Well, let's head straight to the action then. First day, first qualifying session. Qualifying, each driver just gets 3 laps. And here we are with Joël Ster in the Kia Rio. It hasn't been the greatest of seasons for the Kia Rio in general, certainly for Joël Ster. His teammate Jean-Philippe Desraux has, however, kept the mark alive. There is the flag. We are underway then with the number 8B machine. In case you're joining us for the first time and you're wondering what the B is for, if you see a car with a number and then a number B, that means that the car is being shared between 2 drivers. And the number 8 vehicle, the Kia Rio, is now in the hands of Joël Ster. His teammate Jean-Noël Langtui will jump in the car a little bit later. And you can just see already, despite the warm temperatures, there's plenty of snow. And there is a good covering of ice on this circuit as well. Let's just hope that that ice can stay around long enough. Already you can see, after just practice earlier today, that there are areas where it's starting to look a bit thin. That has been a problem all season. And there you can see the dark asphalt starting to show through. And as you can also see, plenty of turns. So that's it for Joël Ster. And it's a good time too for him. 2 minutes 23.383 overall. With the first lap, a real scorcher, 46.9 for Ster. And here we are now with the former Toyota F1 man, Olivier Panis. And that's a classic example of what I was talking about. There you can see the B, the big line of gaffer tape right through it. Letting you know that it's not Bertrand Ballas at the wheel, but Panis. There's the French flag for the last lap. Already 47.3, 47.9 for Panis. Consistency, the name of the game so far for the Frenchman. So often the case when these 2 drivers are sharing a vehicle, one will take it easier in the first section to preserve the tyres and really let Panis have a go. That's Ballas's job. We'll see how that means, because I can tell you Olivier Panis is really going for it out there. Oh, getting it very wide, almost kissing the wall now. The end of his first lap. Well, Panis, he won his first race this year. He's still yet to win a whole round. But already, he said this is his 2nd season now in the Trophee Andros. And that is a very good time indeed from him. Well, there we have the Fiat, now the Fiat Punto. And Frank Lagos does not look like he's going too fast now, accelerating out. In fact, this is the 3B machine. And that is Philippe de Corsac, the team manager, sharing this car with Frank Lagos. Frank Lagos did have one great run where he finished top of the pile in the 2nd round in Andorra. Philippe de Corsac, well, he's currently down in 13th in the overall standings. And you'll see the difference between the team manager and the number 1 pilot, Lagos, if we get a look at him in qualifying. There you can see the tyres, they have these tungsten studs to grip the ice. And you can see that they've really dug up a fair bit of the ice already. Frank Lagos, well, he's carrying 20 kilos And in fact, it is Lagos and not de Corsac. They've left the B on the other side of the car, and with the cameras and the car always sideways, we were getting a good look at just that inside of the car, but this is indeed Lagos. So after victory in Andorra, which really relaunched their campaign after a disastrous start in Val Thorens, but for the moment, Lagos only good enough for 9th place.
Et si l'air redevenait pur? La nature serait-elle plus belle? La vie serait-elle éternelle? Plus naturelle? Imaginez que toutes les voitures soient équipées comme la Toyota Prius de la technologie hybride qui réduit la pollution de l'air en rejetant 1 tonne de CO2 en moins par an. Hybride Synergy Drive de Toyota, la technologie d'aujourd'hui pour les générations de demain.
Welcome back then to Isola 2000. We're still in first qualifying. And here we are with none other than Jean-Philippe Desraux, who is carrying, don't forget, that 60 kilos. And as he said in his interview just before we came to the highlights package, he's already 30 kilos heavier than his rival Alain Prost, meaning that his car and driver ensemble more than 90 kilos heavier than his arch rival and current championship leader, Alain Prost. And now it is underway for Desraux, currently trailing Alain Prost in the overall standings by 17 points. Prost really has laid down the gauntlet so far. He's been working in tandem with his teammates Panis and Ballas, and the 3 Toyotas really have been in a class of their own. This man, Jean-Philippe Desraux, the only man in the field, apart from that one great day for Frank Lagos, that's been able really to compete regularly. And don't forget, that's 60 kilos less. That is a big factor. Although he is absolutely giving it everything, isn't he? Desraux early on. And that is a first lap, 46.9. So he is right on the money as well. Well, if Desraux can keep up that kind of pace, we might yet have a surprise here. Already not easy to maneuver that car as we jump across and have a look at Laurent Fouquet, the #1 privateer in the AMV Renault Clio 3. Well, Fouquet down in 5th, the first privateer by a long way, and in fact leading Frank Lagos in the team-based Fiat Punto. He has been in great form, Fouquet. As he said before, it's been tough, but they really have been mixing it with the big boys, showing that it's not just Toyota and Kia event. Toyota, they were desperate to wrestle back the title from Kia, who really have been the dominant force in Trophee Andros ice racing. But this year, the departure of the king, Ivan Muller, 10 times Trophee Andros champion, that has really changed the foundations of the sport. And as we see, the Toyotas are in the right place at the right time, looking to dominate. And just to go back to Jean-Philippe Desraux in the #2 Kia Rio, I can tell you he is atop the timesheets. A 46.9, 47.2 and a 46.9. Fouquet really giving it everything. You can see him getting it all sideways. That's what you need to do to get the pace down. And then flying across the line, good enough for 7th for Laurent Fouquet. That is a great result for him. As we have a look at the overall standings as they stand at the moment, Jean-Philippe Desraux leading from Panis, Joël Ster. Here comes the final group. And the man on your screen is the championship leader, the Toyota Auris. He's got the indicator on. Alain Prost, the lights blaring. The temperature really starting to come down here in Isola 2000. And Prost, well, he's been ice racing now for a few years. Oh, and he's got it wide there and hit the wall. And that's coming round to start his qualifying as well. And in that opening lap on board with Jean-Philippe Desraux, he said how important it was, that final banked right-hander coming out onto the start-finish straight. He needed to be smooth out of there because it really affected your overall times. Well, Prost has got it all wrong in his warm-up lap, and now we'll have to see if he can pull something out. Don't forget, after the last round, where it was Desraux that took the full 80 points on offer in Alpes d'Huez on day 2. Prost actually finishing the day down in 4th place on day 2 of Alpes d'Huez, behind Desraux, Ballas and Frank Lagorce. Here we are back again with the number 8 Kia Rio then. And again getting it a little bit sideways. Joël Ster. And there you see that right hand of the snail that really tightens up. And then straight out, you've got to swing the car around. And in case you're wondering why all this sliding about, the aim when you're on ice with so little grip is to get the car pointed in the right direction when you come out of the bend. So you've got it completely sideways as you come around the corner, but as you come out of the bend, you're facing in the right direction, and that's where you get the power down. You can see that completely sideways through there and across the finish line. Joël Ster sharing this car with Jean-Noël Langtry. And he's done that just fine. And now we're back with Desraux. Here we are in second qualifying. And Desraux, well, he was first in first qualifying with that 60 kilo. Alain Prost has set an absolutely blistering time in second qualifying. I doubt anyone will be able to catch him. 45.9, 45.7, and 45.9. It's the consistency which is the key there, because just to give you an example, Jean-Philippe Desraux in this second qualifying, 46.3. Then he matched Prost's 45.7 with that second lap. As he brings it all around. Hard on the brakes, the big right-hander. And here you come out. It really is spectacular stuff. But Jean-Philippe Desraux, well, in the end, I think that's probably going to be good enough for second. We'll hang on and see what Alain Prost can produce with his final lap. Night has well and truly fallen here in Isola 2000. Prost, after finishing, oh, well, there he has hit the wall big time. Unbelievable. And there, now he's starting his qualifying. Unbelievable for Prost. Well, in his warm-up lap, that last, we saw him just in first qualifying, getting it very close to the wall, coming around to start his qualifying. Well, he hasn't learnt from that mistake. This time he has absolutely collected the wall. Doesn't look as though he's done any damage. And having only finished 4th in first qualifying just a couple of hours ago as night was starting to fall. Well, now Prost is under pressure because Jean-Philippe Desraux currently sits in top place. There he comes around just where he hit the wall earlier. Unbelievable, a 45.9 for Prost. Well, he has obviously decided to take no prisoners and not hold back now, because he was almost at a complete standstill as he started that first flying lap. And just to give you some idea, 0.4 of a second faster than Jean-Philippe Desraux. Here we are with Prost's teammate now. Not the same paint scheme, but I can tell you the Toyota Auris has all the same backing. Torque Engineering, the men behind the Toyota team. And this man, Ballas, has been a great assistant to Alain Prost so far this season, sitting alongside him so often. And it's a 45.8 in the opening lap for Bertrand Ballas. So that is far and away nearly 1/10 of a second faster than either Prost or Desraux on their first lap. Can Ballas go on with it now? And in case you're wondering just how these times keep coming down, you'll start to notice sparks coming off from underneath the tires of these vehicles. That is when they are collecting all the asphalt, and it's the steel studs, the tungsten studs, as Prost comes across. Well, that is simply unbelievable from Alain Prost. 2 minutes 17.599 for Prost. That is going to be good enough for first place. Can Ballas produce anything now? Because at the moment it is Prost and Desraux. And if it stays like that, it means in this first final, they will each be sitting in pole position. Ballas only good enough for third. Well, that is the maximum then. 60 points for Alain Prost from qualifying. Let's have a chat now to the man himself after that incredible performance. Well, he hit the wall and then set an extraordinary time. Well, it's true. I was really pushing the limit. I needed to pull out a good time in this session because I'd run in the tires in the first session.
Donc je savais que normalement le potentiel de mes pneus était là, mais
he knew that his tires had the potential. He was one run down on most of the other drivers. So he knew he had to pull out the time. When I hit the wall, I quickly threw it back into first and started again. I certainly lost some time, but we got the time we wanted in the end. I thought it was going to be a hard day. I'm very happy with how it's gone. Jean-Philippe is carrying 60 kilos. I'm not carrying anything, so I really have to win. We've got the minimum done now. We can't afford to be off the front row.
Mais bon, je dirais qu'au moins on a sauvé les meubles aujourd'hui. Maintenant c'est premier, deuxième, maximum troisième, comme je vous l'ai dit déjà. Mais là aujourd'hui on pouvait pas se permettre d'être deux avec les 60 kilos de différence.
Jean-Philippe, une deuxième place dans la deuxième manche qualificative. Vous remportez
well,
la
Alain Prost will settle for nothing less than victory. Here we are with Jean-Philippe Desraux, the man that is coming out to stop him. Second place in second qualifying, having won the first. It's a great performance from the Rio Kio man. Well, he says here it's the best session that counts. And on the second session, the asphalt started to show through. We know that means quicker times. Everything was going very well when suddenly the race stewards pulled the checkered flag out after I'd just done 2 laps. I hesitated a little bit,
Et puis voilà, et puis après,
and I lost a bit of
les
time.
Toyotas sont partis par contre les derniers dans la série, je dirais 0.
And the Toyotas, well, they left
dans leur série, la dernière série.
in the very last qualifying group.
Un petit avantage aussi pour eux,
And that was certainly a big advantage for them,
qui est arrivé, si vous voulez, puis il y a de goudron, mais
because even with less ice, there was even less when they came out.
C'est très dommage parce qu'on
We lost the leg, it's a shame.
depuis le matin.
But now at least I'll be 20 kilos less after the final, and Alain will have all 60 kilos. We'll see if he goes as quick then.
Mon concurrent direct va prendre lui 60 kilos. Donc on verra s'ils sont aussi rapides demain avec 60 kilos et voilà.
Départ imminent.
Welcome back to Motors TV. It's time for the first final. And normally we are on day one still. Well, in theory, it's still day one. We are, however, Saturday morning. First thing for the first final, after they decided to give the track an extra night to try and recover from qualifying and practice. They re-ice, they put a lot of water down, it refreezes. And so here we are for the first final. Alain Prost, who set the fastest time in qualifying, leaves from pole in the second final. That means it is that man, the Kia Rio. You just saw him blast past out of pole position, Jean-Philippe Desraux. He's carrying 60 kilos. He qualified second, which means he took away 57 points. Prost took 60. Can he add 20 points for first place in a final? Well, the Kia Rio, despite the weight handicap, has been on the pace all week. And you can see there, he's got a great start on Bertrand Ballas, Prost's Toyota teammate in second. And there is Evan Stevenart as well in the Renault Clio 3. That is a great result for him. He's keeping, at the moment, Frank Lagorce in the blue Fiat at bay. Then one more place back, Jean-Noël Langtui is there. Then the first of the BMW Series 1s, it's a Hervé Gnapik. The number 7 Renault Clio of Wilfred Merafina is there as well. We spoke to him earlier. Didier Andre in another Kia Rio. Fontenelle and Ferrier bringing up the rear in this Elite Superior category final. The first of the day. As we see, is there going to be contact there between Lagorce and Langtui? There is, and Langtui just putting the nose in, pushing Lagorce out of the way. Well, that's a bit of tough driving there from Jean-Noël Langtui in the number 8 Kia Rio. And you can see he was going a lot faster than Lagorce as well, so the Fiat Punto team, they haven't solved all their troubles. Look at this, Langtui's heading out after Steven Evenart, trying the same maneuver there on the Rio Clio that he used against the Fiat, just sticking the nose in, preventing his opponent from really sliding the back end out all the way. You see them starting the slide there, then it comes around. And already, despite the night off and all the track preparations and reparations that have been going on, you can see already that this French winter just hasn't been cold enough, really. You can see there where it's not ice, it's just snow, in fact. But at the front, Jean-Philippe Desraux is doing everything he can again there. It's the same right-hander. And there you can see that there is very little ice left at all. Langtui all over the back of Stevenart. This is where the racing is. Well, there are unwritten codes of gentlemanly conduct in the Trophee Andros. That doesn't mean from time to time things don't get a little hot under the collar. It's so hard to overtake. That's why 60 of the 80 points on offer each day are allocated in qualifying, because that's where these cars really show off. And the driver shows his art. Ballas completely sideways, isn't it great to watch? Well, Ballas now is starting to go with Desraux. Only 6 laps of this 650-meter Isola 2000 circuit. It's twisty and turny, and it's all about the technique to get the car swinging around. That's only makes Desros' performance all the more impressive. It can work both ways when you're carrying the 60-kilo handicap. The car is heavier, so it's harder to get it through all these tight and twisty turns. On the other hand, you don't have the out-and-out acceleration, which was the case here last year with the straightaways. As we are on the last lap. Well, what a great result this is going to be for Evan Stevenart. Yet to really figure in the top 5 at any course so far this season. Well, Desros, he came here saying we have to try and be in the top 3. Well, if he hangs on these last 2 turns, he is going to qualify himself for at least 2nd place. He's got that now. 20 points from the final, 57 from qualifying, 77 for the day. Desros in a time of 4 minutes 41.5. There you see it. Ballas 2.5 seconds down. Evan Stevenart, great result for the Renault Clio team. As here we look now at the 2nd final, the starting grid. Prost alongside him, his teammate Olivier Panis. And there you can see the Kia Rio of Joël Ster just sitting behind the 2 Toyotas. Oh, it's not a good start at all from Panis. Prost got away like a rocket. But Joël Ster has just blasted past Olivier Panis. Well, that is the worst possible result for the Toyota Auris team. They've just seen Jean-Philippe Desros set the fastest time and win the first final. That means that Alain Prost, to claim maximum points and finish in 1st place today, must win. He would have been banking on having his teammate Olivier Panis act as a buffer between him and the rest of the field. Not only has someone sprung the trap and jumped up into 2nd place, it's none other than one of the Kia Rios. Well, you can see the AMV Renault Clio there of Laurent Fouquet as well, as we stay